Look up at the night sky. Every tiny dot you see is a star. Each of those stars likely has planets orbiting around them. Some of those planets are in the perfect position for life to exist. Some might even have civilizations millions of years ahead of us. So why is space so silent? This is the greatest mystery in the universe, the Fermi Paradox. If the universe is so vast and the odds of intelligent life seem so high, where is everybody? We are either completely alone or something is stopping intelligent civilizations from reaching us. And either answer is terrifying. But what if I told you there might be a reason we haven't seen any aliens? A reason that could shake our understanding of the universe itself. We live in a universe so vast that numbers become meaningless. Look up at the night sky and you'll see stars, thousands of them. But beyond what your eyes can perceive, there are 200 billion galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars. In our Milky Way alone, there are around 100 billion stars, and we now know that most of them have planets. Many of these planets sit in the habitable zone, the perfect distance from their stars where liquid water can exist, and life as we know it could thrive. With so many planets, it seems almost impossible that Earth is the only one with intelligent life. Yet, despite decades of searching, we have found nothing. No signals, no spacecraft, no interstellar visitors, just an empty, silent universe. But how is that possible? How can we exist in a galaxy filled with potential life and yet remain completely alone? The odds seem stacked in favor of alien civilizations. In 1961, astrophysicist Frank Drake attempted to estimate the number of intelligent extraterrestrial societies in our galaxy by creating what is now known as the Drake equation. It considers factors like the number of stars, the fraction that have planets, how many of those planets could develop life, and how many civilizations would reach a stage where they could communicate across the stars. Even with conservative estimates, the number of possible intelligent civilizations should be in the thousands, maybe even millions. And yet, when we point our most advanced telescopes into space, when we listen for radio signals, when we search for any trace of an interstellar message, we find nothing. Silence. This is the paradox at the heart of the greatest mystery in the universe. If intelligent life is common, where is everyone? Why do we see no signs of galactic empires, no interstellar trade routes, no messages sent across the void of space? The numbers say the universe should be crowded, but the evidence suggests it's empty. Something isn't adding up, but maybe the universe isn't empty at all. Maybe civilizations don't last long enough to spread. Maybe there's something out there, something stopping them before they ever reach the stars. And that possibility leads us to one of the most chilling theories ever proposed. If the universe should be filled with life, but we see no signs of it, then something must be preventing civilizations from reaching us. This idea is known as the Great Filter, an invisible barrier that stops life from advancing to a stage where it can explore and colonize the stars. But here's the terrifying question. Where is this filter? Is it behind us or is it ahead? If the Great Filter is behind us, that would mean life is incredibly rare. Perhaps Earth is one of the only places in the universe where intelligent life has emerged. Maybe the transition from simple molecules to complex life is nearly impossible. Maybe the jump from single-celled organisms to multicellular life is so unlikely that it has happened only once in the vastness of the cosmos. If that's the case, then we are special, an anomaly in the universe, a freak occurrence against impossible odds. But if the Great Filter is ahead of us, the reality becomes far more terrifying. If the filter is in our future, it means that intelligent civilizations do arise, but something inevitably wipes them out before they can spread beyond their home planets. Something, whether it's self-destruction, cosmic disasters, or an unknown force, is preventing any species from reaching the stars. And that would mean humanity is heading toward the same fate. Think about our own world. We are the only known intelligent species, yet we are constantly on the edge of catastrophe. Climate change, nuclear war, artificial intelligence, bioengineering, any one of these could be the event that ends us. It's possible that every advanced civilization before us has reached a similar point and failed to make it past the Great Filter. If that's true, then what does it mean for us? Are we already doomed? Just another species on the brink of extinction? Or is there another possibility? What if some civilizations have survived the Great Filter, but they are choosing to remain hidden? What if the silence of the universe is not an accident? Imagine walking alone in a dense, foggy forest at night. You know there are others out there, hidden, unseen, watching. Do you call out? Do you light a fire to signal your presence? Or do you stay silent, afraid that something dangerous might be lurking in the dark? This is the terrifying premise of the dark forest theory, one of the most chilling solutions to the Fermi Paradox. The idea comes from the science fiction novel The Dark Forest by Liu Cixin, but it's based on a simple and disturbing logic. It suggests that the reason we haven't detected alien civilizations is not because they aren't there, but because they are deliberately staying silent. And perhaps we should be doing the same. Consider this. Every civilization in the universe is like a hunter in a vast, dark forest. They don't know who else is out there, and they don't know the intentions of any other civilization that might exist. Are they peaceful, or are they a threat? In this scenario, revealing your presence is an enormous risk, because even if most civilizations are peaceful, it only takes one aggressive species to wipe out the rest. And history has shown us a disturbing truth. When an advanced civilization encounters a weaker one, the outcome is rarely peaceful. Look at our own planet. Throughout human history, when technologically superior civilizations encountered less advanced ones, the results were often devastating for the weaker side. If this pattern extends into the cosmos, then the first civilization to find another might not reach out with open arms, see ours, but with weapons. The safest strategy? To remain hidden, to listen in silence, never transmitting, never drawing attention. And yet we have been doing the exact opposite. Over the past century, we have been sending out radio signals, broadcasting our existence into space. We have attached messages to spacecraft, sending them beyond our solar system. We have even beamed powerful signals toward distant exoplanets in the hope that someone might hear us. But what if the only ones listening are the hunters in the dark forest? What if the silence of the universe isn't just the result of civilizations hiding, but civilizations that are already gone? What if the stars we see at night are not just distant suns, but silent tombstones marking the graves of once thriving empires? The idea that advanced civilizations have existed but are now extinct is a terrifying possibility. If life is common and intelligent life is inevitable, then the reason we haven't heard from anyone might be because something wipes them out before they can reach us. But what could be responsible for such a mass extinction of civilizations? There are several chilling possibilities. One explanation could be self-destruction. The idea that advanced civilizations are inherently doomed by their own progress. As technology advances, so does the potential for catastrophe. Nuclear war, artificial intelligence run amok, environmental collapse, or bioweapons, any of these could be the downfall of a civilization before it ever leaves its home planet. Just look at us. We've only been a technological species for a fraction of our planet's history. Yet we already possess the means to destroy ourselves multiple times over. But what if the danger isn't self-inflicted? What if something external is erasing civilizations from existence? Massive gamma-ray bursts, explosions so powerful they could sterilize entire star systems, are one possibility. Rogue black holes silently drifting through the galaxy could swallow entire planets without warning. Even cosmic pandemics spreading across interstellar colonies could bring down an empire before it has a chance to expand. Or what if the danger is something far more intentional? What if somebody or something ensures that no civilization ever rises too far? What if we are not alone in the universe, but we were never meant to find out? What if we are not alone, but something is watching, silent, unseen, waiting? In our search for extraterrestrial intelligence, we assume that if there were advanced civilizations out there, we would have found them by now. But what if they already found us and decided not to reveal themselves? This brings us to another chilling hypothesis, the idea that Earth is part of an experiment, an observation, or worse, a cosmic quarantine. Imagine an ant colony in the middle of a vast jungle. The ants go about their lives completely unaware that they are being observed by a team of scientists standing just beyond their perception. The scientists can see them, study them, manipulate their environment, but the ants, trapped in their own tiny world, will never comprehend the presence of an intelligence so far beyond their own. Now, what if we are the ants? What if an advanced civilization is watching us, carefully ensuring that we remain ignorant of their existence? This idea, known as the zoo hypothesis, suggests that alien civilizations could be deliberately avoiding contact with us, either to let us develop naturally, or because we're simply too primitive to be worth engaging with. Think about how we study animals in the wild. We hide cameras, we observe from a distance, we try not to interfere with their natural behavior. But if an animal suddenly becomes aware of us, we retreat. Could the same be happening on a cosmic scale? Could the reason for the silence of the universe be that the observers don't want us to know they're there? And then there's an even darker possibility. What if we are being contacted, but we simply don't recognize it? What if the messages are hidden in ways we cannot yet decipher? Signals embedded in the cosmic background radiation, subtle changes in the laws of physics, or even within the very fabric of reality itself. If something is watching us, then the real question isn't just why they are silent, but what they are waiting for. And when the moment comes, what happens next? What if the reason we haven't found aliens is because we were never meant to? What if the universe itself is nothing more than an illusion, an elaborate simulation designed to keep us contained? The simulation hypothesis is one of the most mind-bending solutions to the Fermi Paradox. It suggests that everything we see, the stars, the galaxies, even our own existence, might not be real in the way we think it is. Instead, we could be living inside an ultra-advanced computer simulation created by an intelligence far beyond our comprehension. But why? And more importantly, who or what would create such a simulation? Some theorists suggest that an ancient, hyper-advanced civilization may have reached a point where they could simulate entire universes. Imagine a civilization millions, maybe even billions of years ahead of us. Their computational power would be beyond anything we can imagine. To them, simulating an entire cosmos with conscious beings inside it might be as trivial as running a computer program is for us. But here's the terrifying part. If simulations are possible, then the chances that we are in the one real universe are incredibly low. Think about it. If an advanced civilization created just one simulated universe, and then that simulation developed intelligent beings who also created simulations and so on, then the number of simulated realities could be billions or trillions, while the number of real ones remains just one. That means the odds that we are living in the one original reality are astronomically small. The logical conclusion? We're almost certainly inside a simulation, and if that's true, then the silence of the universe makes perfect sense. There are no aliens because the simulation doesn't include them. The vast empty cosmos could be nothing more than a programmed illusion, a stage set, designed to keep us from questioning the nature of our reality. Maybe extraterrestrial life is simply not coded into the system, but here's the most unsettling thought of all. What happens if the simulation ends? If the beings running it decide to shut it down? Or worse, what if someone, somewhere, figures out how to break the simulation from the inside? Would reality start to glitch? Would we start noticing errors in the code? Anomalies in physics, strange patterns in cosmic radiation, inexplicable changes in time itself? And if we do, what happens next? What if the universe isn't empty, but silent, because life almost never survives long enough to reach out? What if there's an invisible barrier, an impossible test that prevents civilizations from ever making it to the stars? This terrifying possibility is known as the Great Filter, and it might be the reason why the universe seems so lifeless. The idea is simple. Somewhere along the path from the formation of life to becoming an interstellar civilization, there's a nearly insurmountable obstacle, a challenge so severe that almost no species is able to pass it. And if that's true, then the silence of the cosmos isn't a mystery, it's a warning. But here's the big question. Where is the Great Filter? Have we already passed it, or is it still ahead of us? If the Great Filter is behind us, then we are exceptionally rare, maybe even the only intelligent species in existence. It would mean that the step from lifeless chemicals to complex organisms is incredibly difficult, and that the conditions on Earth were a 1 in a trillion anomaly. It would explain why we don't see alien civilizations, because almost no planets ever develop intelligent life in the first place. But what if the Great Filter is still ahead of us? That would mean that countless civilizations before us have reached our level of technology, and then something wiped them out before they could spread to the stars. A universal danger waiting for any species that advances too far. What could it be? Perhaps advanced civilizations are doomed to self-destruction. As technology progresses, the threats grow with it. Nuclear war, environmental collapse, artificial intelligence, or even engineered pandemics. Maybe no species ever survives its own technological adolescence, or maybe there's something out there that ensures no species ever gets too far. A predator that strikes down civilizations the moment they announce their presence to the universe. What if our first alien signal is also our last? This leads us to an even darker possibility. What if we're the next target? If the great filter is still ahead, then humanity stands on the edge of an abyss, facing a test that no one before us has ever survived. And if that's true, then maybe the silence of the universe isn't just an absence of life. Maybe it's the sound of a graveyard. Imagine you're walking through a dense, silent forest at night. You know there are predators out there, hidden in the shadows, watching. But you don't make a sound, because the first creature to reveal itself might not live long enough to regret it. This is the essence of the dark forest theory, one of the most chilling explanations for the Fermi Paradox. It suggests that the universe is not empty, it's full of life. But every civilization, no matter how advanced, is hiding in fear. Because the moment they reveal themselves, they risk annihilation. Think about it. If intelligent life is out there, why haven't we heard from them? The answer is simple. No one wants to be seen. In this cosmic forest, every civilization is like a hunter creeping through the dark, knowing that other hunters are out there, but never knowing their intentions. Are they friendly? Hostile? Will they ignore you? Or destroy you the moment they detect you? Here's the terrifying part. Survival favors the most cautious civilizations, the ones that stay silent, the ones that never send signals, never broadcast their existence to the stars. Meanwhile, the reckless civilizations, the ones that shout their presence into the void, don't last long enough for us to find them. This idea comes from a simple but brutal logic. Two civilizations encountering each other in space have no way of knowing each other's true intentions. Even if both start out peaceful, there's always the risk that one might change. Over time, governments fall, ideologies shift, technology advances in unpredictable ways. What if a once peaceful species suddenly develops the means and the desire to wipe out all potential threats? A civilization that waits too long to strike and might never get the chance. In a dark forest universe, the only winning strategy is silence or preemptive attack. And if that's true, then maybe we should stop trying to contact alien civilizations. Maybe we should be terrified of the fact that we've already sent out messages. The Voyager probes, the Arecibo message, the radio waves leaking from Earth for over a century. They might be the interstellar equivalent of a flare shot into the night sky. What if something saw it? Maybe the reason the universe is silent is because every civilization that was foolish enough to speak up isn't around anymore. What if the universe isn't silent, but we've just been listening with the wrong ears? For decades, we've been scanning the cosmos for radio signals, expecting aliens to communicate in a way that makes sense to us. But what if advanced civilizations use technologies far beyond our understanding? What if our efforts are like an ant trying to pick up Wi-Fi signals? The information is there, but we simply lack the ability to detect it. Consider this. Human communication has evolved dramatically in just the last century. We've already moved from radio waves to fiber optics, quantum encryption and satellite networks. If another civilization is just a few thousand years ahead of us, their communication methods might be indistinguishable from magic. Maybe they don't use radio at all. Maybe they communicate with neutrinos, gravitational waves, or even quantum entanglement, methods we barely understand or can't detect at all. There's also the issue of timing. Our entire search for extraterrestrial intelligence has lasted less than 100 years. The Milky Way, by contrast, is over 13 billion years old. What if civilizations send out signals only briefly, like a flare in the dark? But we just weren't listening at the right moment. Imagine you're standing by the ocean, looking for a single flash of lightning. If you blink at the wrong time, you might believe lightning doesn't exist at all. Then there's the vastness of space itself. The Milky Way alone spans 100,000 light-years. Even if a signal is coming our way, It could take millions of years to reach us. By the time we receive it, the civilization that sent it might already be long gone. This brings us to another problem. The way we've been searching assumes aliens want to be found, but why would they? Would we? If an advanced species is out there watching, they might not see any benefit in making contact with a civilization as primitive as ours. To them, we might be as insignificant as bacteria in a petri dish. Or worse, they might be watching us with great interest, waiting for something. But what? Are we part of some kind of cosmic experiment? Are we under observation, waiting for the right conditions before they reveal themselves? If so, then the answer to the Fermi Paradox isn't that the universe is empty, but that we are simply not ready to be part of it. What if the reason we haven't found alien is because they don't want us to? Think about it. When we study animals in the wild, we don't march into their territory, announce our presence, and start a conversation. We observe from a distance, quietly, without interfering. What if, to a more advanced civilization, we are those animals? What if Earth is just a small exhibit in a vast cosmic zoo, a carefully maintained experiment where intelligent life is allowed to develop, but not to interact with its watchers? This is known as the zoo hypothesis, and it suggests that alien civilizations could be deliberately keeping their distance from us. Maybe they're waiting for us to reach a certain level of technological or ethical development before they make contact. Or maybe they've decided that exposing us to advanced extraterrestrial knowledge would be too dangerous, too disruptive to our natural progress. Imagine if, tomorrow, undeniable proof of alien life was revealed. Governments, religions, economies, entire belief systems would be shaken. Wars have been fought over far less. Could an advanced civilization see us as too volatile, too immature, too self-destructive to be part of a greater cosmic community? There's another possibility, one that's even more unsettling. What if there are rules in place, a kind of cosmic non-interference agreement among intelligent civilizations, one that prevents them from contacting emerging species until they reach a certain threshold? If so, then humanity might be facing a test we don't even know we're taking, or worse. What if, the moment we pass that threshold, the moment we finally prove ourselves capable of interstellar communication, is the moment we finally learn the truth? Maybe, just maybe, the silence isn't a mystery at all. Maybe it's a warning. What if the reason we haven't found aliens is because we were never meant to? Imagine for a moment that everything we see in the cosmos, the stars, the galaxies, the vast stretches of empty space, is nothing more than a grand illusion. Not in a metaphorical sense, but in a very real, carefully designed way. What if an advanced intelligence has manipulated our perception of the universe, creating a controlled artificial reality where we are alone by design? This idea is known as the Planetarium hypothesis, and it suggests that the universe might be filled with intelligent life. But something, or someone, has hidden them from us. Just as a planetarium projects an artificial sky onto a dome, an advanced species could be controlling what we observe in the cosmos. But why would they do this? Maybe it's a test, a way to see how we develop without interference. Maybe it's a quarantine, keeping us from realizing we are surrounded by civilizations until we reach a certain level of advancement. Or maybe the truth is something far stranger. If an advanced species had the capability to manipulate light, space, or even our own consciousness, they could create a universe where we believe we are alone, even if we are not. It would be the ultimate form of control, a civilization hidden in plain sight, completely undetectable because our very perception of reality has been altered. This raises a terrifying question. If we can't trust the cosmos we see, how would we ever know the truth? So what do you think? Is the universe truly empty? Or are we just one species among many, isolated, watched and unaware? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysteries of the cosmos, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Cosmic Buzzin for more mind-bending space explorations. Because in this vast, infinite universe, we've only just begun to ask the right questions.